Hey guys, it's Reading with Audrey back again with another video, and today we will be reading chapter 11 of All the Answers by Kate Messner. In the last chapter, Sophie took the pencil and tried to be a psychic, and she was telling all those students in the class predictions like who likes you and stuff like that. And Ava's pretty scared because what if the teacher takes the pencil? Who knows? We're going to have to find out in the next chapter of All the Answers by Kate Messner. Let's get on with it, guys. Chapter 11. Sharpening and shortening. The pencil wasn't glowing or shooting out sparks or doing other magical things, but it might as well have been, the way Miss Rupert was looking at it. She knows, Ava thought, and her heart squeezed up into her throat. She totally knows, and it's my pencil and all my fault, and now we're going to be sent to the office and expelled, and whatever else happens when you're messing around with a magic pencil instead of doing your goldenrod gall lab. Why couldn't Sophie have listened to her? Ava swallowed hard and hoped she'd make it to the office trash can before she threw up, because puking on the goldenrod galls would only make things worse. But Sophie just smiled. "Sorry, Miss Rupert." She casually dropped the pencil on the lab table. Ava could barely breathe, but she forced herself to reach out and pick it up while Miss Rupert was looking the other way. "I guess our group got a little off task," Sophie went on, "but this is a great lab. We found one gall with 2 beetle larvae in it. Leo, can you show her?" Leo stopped quacking at Luke and started looking for the double larvae gall while Ava hurried to her backpack and zipped the pencil inside. She looked over at the lab table where Sophie was asking Miss Rupert something about the wasps. Ava still felt like her heart might bound right out of her chest and go thumping across the floor of the science room. How could Sophie be over there chatting like nothing even happened? But at least Miss Rupert was focused on bugs again, and the pencil was safe. There was barely time to clean up their lab stations before the bell rang. Sophie was waiting for Ava to walk to lunch. "Sorry, I hope you're not mad." "I'm not mad," Ava said, even though she kinda was. "But you can't do stuff like that." "Why not?" Sophie stopped at her locker. "Nobody knows it was the pencil." But Jessica was all upset, and Luke was mad, and Tyler wanted to punch him, and then Miss Rupert came over and asked if there was a problem, and I thought I was going to pass out, and just be careful. Okay. Sophie twirled out her combination and opened her locker. "Will you bring it to lunch, though?" "No." It came out louder than Ava intended, but this pencil was really starting to stress her out. "I want to leave it in my locker for now. I'm going to Miss Galvin's chocolate chip cookie club thing anyway. Want to come?" "Sure." Sophie didn't seem upset about being snapped at. "If there are cookies, I'm in." They got their lunches and headed for the library. Ava wished it wasn't a club day so she could shelve books. She needed some quiet to recover from the awful pencil psychic science class scene, and she needed control of her pencil back. "Sophie, we need to set up rules for this thing, okay?" "Like what?" "Like not using it in front of people, like you just did, and no more quiz answers. It's cheating." "But there's no rule against—" "Only because nobody knows about magic pencils." Sophie sighed. "Fine, but we can use it for some stuff, right?" Ava nodded. "Yes, but only for good stuff, okay? Like to help people." "Does people include us? Because I saw these super cute boots at the mall, and I'd love to ask it when they're scheduled to go on sale." Sophie grinned and held open the library door. Ava laughed. "I think that's okay." "Hi, girls." Miss Galvin waved toward the tables that were already filling in. "Take a cookie and find a seat." They did, and then Miss Galvin passed out the poem for the day. "Always bring a pencil." Sophie nudged Ava. "See?" she whispered. "Even the poem thinks you should have brought it." But this poem wasn't about magic. The poet, Naomi Shihab Nye, was saying that certain things, quiet things, wanted to be written about in pencil instead of pen. Ava had never thought about that. The poet must not have had teachers who required one or another. Then Miss Galvin read another poem called Valentine for Earnest Man, which wasn't about a Valentine at all, but poems and where they hide, where to find them. Ava liked that one too. It was fun to imagine a poem creeping across her ceiling like sunlight coming through the window. So think about that, and if you find a poem hiding somewhere, bring it next time, okay? Miss Galvin said as the bell rang. Ava, you have study hall next, right? Do you have time to shelve some new books? Sure. Ava said goodbye to Sophie and rolled a cart of books to the shelf. Ava always loved oogling new books. Sometimes she sniffed them when no one was looking. Today, there were a few mysteries that looked pretty good. 2 books with people kissing on the cover. Ava didn't bother reading the blurbs for those. A bunch of fantasy titles, some nonfiction about the Civil War, and a book called What to Do When You Worry Too Much, A Kid's Guide to Overcoming Anxiety. Ava arranged most of them on the shelves, but she saved the worry book for last. Its cover had an illustration of a giant tomato plant that looked like it was about to eat a scared-looking kid standing next to it. Ava glanced back at the circulation desk and saw that Miss Galvin was doing something on her computer. She opened the book to see what the killer tomatoes were all about. The first chapter said that worries were like plants, that if you mostly kept busy and ignored them, they tended to wither and get smaller. But if you fed and watered them and only gave them lots of attention, they'd grow big and healthy. Only worries weren't healthy, the book said. No kidding, Ava thought. She put it on the shelf, grabbed her backpack, and waved to Miss Galvin. See you next week! The second that school ended, Ava and Sophie hurried home and up to Ava's bedroom. Here you go. Ava handed Sophie the pencil. Sophie scribbled, "When are the boots I like at the mall going on sale?" And waited. Then she sighed. What? Ava asked. They're not going on sale? It's not answering. Maybe the pencil doesn't like shopping. Sophie let out a huff and tossed the pencil over her shoulder. It landed on the hardwood floor and rolled under Ava's bed. Hey, be careful! Ava hurried over, pulled the pencil out from under the bed, and blew off a dust bunny. You broke the tip. Sorry, Sophie said. You have a sharpener, right? Ava nodded and took the pencil over to the sharpener on her bookshelf. She stuck it in and started sharpening. She could feel the pencil vibrating, getting shorter as the blades chewed away at the wood. Getting shorter. Ava gasped and stopped sharpening. Sophie, we have to stop asking so many questions. Even the good, helpful ones. She pulled it out and blew wood shavings off the sharpened tip. Every time we sharpen it, it shrinks. And when it's gone, Sophie's eyes got big. Oh my gosh, I totally didn't think of that. I figured once we knew it wasn't a genie with 3 wishes thing, we were good. She stared at the pencil. How long do you think it'll last if we ask it like 10 questions a day? I'm not sure. Marcus would probably have some math formula or algorithm to figure that out. But she could only take a wild guess. How long does the regular pencil last? Ask the pencil that. Sophie pointed to it. Ava hesitated. Couldn't we find that out somewhere else? Good point. New rule. Never use the pencil for a question unless Google doesn't know the answer. They went downstairs where Google told them the average pencil can write about 45,000 words. But those words could go by fast. Ava did some quick math on a napkin someone left by the phone. We've had the pencil less than a week, and we've already asked it more than 30 questions. Plus, it wasn't new when we got it. It'd been used a bunch already. What if we go with 3 questions a day for now? Perfect, Sophie said, reaching for her purse. Do you think we could use 1 more question today? Please? Sophie batted her eyelashes, which made Ava laugh. Fine. Sophie grinned. I think this particular question may work best if we're at the mall. Think your dad or Graham would give us a ride? Alright guys, that is the end of chapter 11 of All the Answers by Kate Messner. I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter. This chapter was pretty interesting, and I'm glad that they've set some rules so that they don't just waste the pencil away. I wonder if they'll finally get a schedule and figure out some rules in the next chapter. We'll have to find out. Bye guys! So, quick disclaimer. I'm very sorry that I did not post yesterday. Yesterday was a super duper duper busy day for me, and I just didn't have time to film. I'm really, really sorry. I'm gonna try to do a double upload today, but I can't really promise anything. It just kind of depends. So yeah, bye. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and have a great day. Mwah.